Hello, everyone. Well, I'm speaking from a sun-filled room today, so I hope you've all got sun. Don't seem to have seen that for a long time. Cool. Moving on. We have seven staff off with COVID-related issues. We have no individuals, which is fantastic news. The sort of seven staff on off, it's been higher than that. It's sort of it sort of fluctuates, but it's fluctuating in the lower levels, which is pretty clear to us that things are sort of moving into a more positive stage. We had in the last 7 days look back, we've had 641 tests. Previously, a couple of days ago, it was 698 over the 7 day look back. That's just a phenomenal result as we keep sort of complementing the teams. It gets in the way of so much else, and yet we managed to make it happen without compromising all the other things that we're doing. We have, as probably if anyone's been watching our recordings, we've had a hiccup on vaccinations. And that's really been that it turns out, as we thought, there was a national problem of supply, but we don't think it was a very big problem because actually the appointments are back on again for Monday. So there's just been a bit of a disruption over the last 7, 8 days. Inevitable, but they're just doing a fantastic job on all of that. So I really want to compliment them on how well they're doing this rollout. It's fantastic. Joe Wiley, you might have seen all of this about individuals getting vaccinations. Joe and winning on it, we were very much leading on that whole thing, and as you know, we got vaccinations for all of the individuals we support within the sort of 15th of February timeframe. So I'm glad that other people have taken it on, and there's a now greater sense of awareness. What was really interesting was, and we missed this point, and actually Joe made it very well, which is, essentially, if one of the individuals we're supporting, if your son, your daughter gets ill and actually catches it and has to go into hospital, they would, under the current regime, it would be very difficult to put carers in there, and the sort of havoc that they would cause, and not only the distress to themselves, but the havoc to within hospital settings where you have an individual who has very challenging sort of types of or displays challenging types of behavior. That would just be a nightmare. And I think that the medics have really got it very wrong, where they've obviously only looked at the risk to the individual, which I think they've got wrong anyway, but they also need to look at the risk of the individual catching COVID, and then the impact that such an individual would have within a hospital setting. It would just be impossible. So they got it wrong. Joe got it right. She put it across very well. And we learn. And that's why it's great to have transparency where these things are followed through by lots of people. Okay, we're back to vaccinations again. I'm with the Queen. The Queen has made it very clear that actually it's basically selfish if you don't have a vaccination. This isn't flu. This is like going to war. We've had 120 odd thousand people who have died directly, who've been linked to it. We've had an individual die within one of our homes, which is incredibly sad. We've seen how horrible this thing actually is. I suspect, they're saying it's going to be 150,000 people by the end of it who will have died. Probably it will be more. But there's actually an even bigger story, which is the longer this thing hangs around, there are hundreds of thousands of people whose health is being put at risk because they can't go in and have normal medical procedures. And I suspect the true cost of the pandemic, you can probably multiply what the number of people who've died, as a result of catching COVID. You can multiply that. It's going to be at least double, maybe even more. You wait and see the numbers in a year, 2 years, 3 years time when they really do the investigation. And here's the other point. This is not going away. This isn't sort of like a flu epidemic and then, okay, next year it'll be better. This is with us for a long time. And whether people like it or not, right, they are not going to get jobs if they haven't had vaccinations. They're not going to be able to take foreign holidays if they've not had vaccinations. We're not saying yet that we're not being sort of prescriptive about all of this, but other providers are, and it's only a matter of time before government will encourage all employers to basically providers not to employ people if they haven't had a jab. It is a massive risk if you've not had a jab, supporting an individual, one of our sons, daughters, who actually can't have a jab because of the, for medical reasons. And obviously, as a member of staff, if you can't have a jab for medical reasons, we completely understand that and we will work around that. But what I have seen is, I have seen now that several providers have actually said to families, if you haven't had a jab, you can't come into the care homes. So that'll be the next thing. And I think you can watch that story unravel and unroll out. So I think that it's all starting to say, if you don't have a jab, in whatever your format, you're going to have a very, very limited life, in terms of what you can and can't do. This is the future, unfortunately. We're all going to have jabs. I hate having jabs. I hate taking medication. I've done it because there are these moments, life and death moments, war moments, where this thing can just take you out. It's beyond norm. And you can become a threat. You become almost a weapon of this horrible virus because you can spread it to other people as well. And I've had it, and I'm really encouraging everybody to have it. And the Queen is completely right in what she says, and I'm with the Queen. So I'm with the Queen. I think we're all with the Queen, and I'm really glad she said it in the way in which she said it. It is antisocial, it is selfish if you can have a jab. If you have a medical reason why you can't have a jab, understood. Everybody understands that. Fantastic. Well, I think the sunny uplands are looking sort of closer. I've taken a risk and I have actually booked a holiday on the basis I might have to cancel it, but I need something to look forward to in the summer, and really anchor myself in that belief that actually we are going to get away. So I think we're all in a better place than we were a week ago, and a week ago we're in a better place than we were the week before. Things are moving well, but we've all got to respect the fact that we're still in lockdown. Let's not screw it up for the sake of a few weeks, 10 weeks, 5 weeks, whatever it might be, as we unlock, because we want to get back to normal, and that's what we're planning for. We've created a project called Unlock It, and we're now looking at how do we move from this environment where everything is about keeping people in the homes, whereas we're going to go back into the community. How are we going to make that work for the individuals, because that will be challenging. People are very happy to sort of just lounge around, do things within their home, but actually we're going to need to re-engage with the community. We've got staff who've joined us who are very creative and are making things happen in the home, but haven't had that experience of, we need to be out in the community doing our bit. So we have a massive challenge, and we love challenges, and we will unlock the creativity in everybody. And we have a plan, man, which is what we're going to be doing. And it's Unlock It, and everybody's working on Unlock It across the board. So it's going to be part of our business continuity plan. It's going to be in everybody's care plans and so on. It's going to be agenda in all staff meetings. So we start to move forward, and we regain that culture that we have as an organization. So on that happy note, I want to wish you all a great week and catch up with you next week. All the best, and have a jab if you haven't had one.